I call the meeting to order for the City of Freeport's regular meeting on January 13th, 2026. Please stand for invocation and pledge.
Father, we thank you for the day that you've given us. We thank you, God, for your many blessings. I pray, Lord, that you will just lead us, guide us, and direct us, and we'll give you the honor and glory. For this I ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everyone and Happy New Year. We're going to start today's meeting a little different. I have some awards to present, and I'd like to do that in the beginning and get that out of the way before we start our meeting. No one come down front, so I'll be there for all of them. I have 4 awards. I want you to know that we're all very thankful for your work throughout the whole year. You all make this job difficult to select individuals each month and each quarter and each year. But we're so appreciative of everything that you do for the city. The first award I'm going to give is the Employee of the Month for dedicated service to the city, and it goes to Charity Fortune. Next, we have the Supervisor of the Quarter. The Supervisor of the Quarter is Morgan Hewlin. Next, we have the Employee of the Year. The Employee of the Year for 2025 is Mr. Gene Martin.
All right, Gene.
Awesome. Good job, Coach.
Undeserved.
Awesome.
And finally, our Supervisor of the Year for 2025 leads our Water Department, Mr. Larry Tucker.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Under the consent agenda, tab 1 is bills for the city of Freeport. Tab 2 is the regular council meeting minutes for December the 9th, 2025. Tab 3 is the fiscal year 2025 financial reports, fiscal year closing. On tab 4 is the budget amendment for Dewberry Services for Bulldog Wastewater Treatment Plant. Tab 5 is the Amendment 2 for decorative lighting at the Veterans Memorial, Casey Park, and Barrier Free Park. And tab 6 is the budget amendment 3 for Park Pole Barn reclassification. Is there any public comment on the consent agenda? If not, I'll ask the council for approval.
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Councilwoman Hafner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst.
Aye.
Councilman Ferris.
Aye.
And Councilwoman Brown.
Aye.
Motion carried. Are there any additions or deletions to today's agenda?
I got one addition there, the GPR locator.
Any other? not, I'll ask for approval of the addition for today's agenda.
I make the motion to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Councilwoman Hafner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hirsch.
Aye.
Councilman Ferris.
Aye.
And Councilwoman Brandon. Motion carried. Under staff reports, begin with the city manager.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor and Council. I have one item for you, which is the work order being completed for our AC unit in Fort City Hall. We got 3 bids, and we went with the lowest bid, which was from Lewis Brown Heating and Cooling for $9,450. This need approval.
Make the motion to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilwoman Hafner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hirsch.
Aye.
Councilman Ferris.
Aye.
And Councilwoman Brandon.
Aye.
Motion carried. Engineering.
Morning, Council.
Good morning.
We have one item for you, which is the proposal for the LaGrange Road sewer extension. So basically, back in December, the county had given direction to move forward with spending the additional ARPA funding. So this engineering proposal is to cover the design of that LaGrange Road sewer area. And we're going to be looking to basically design the pipe and sewer extensions throughout there so that the city can construct and put in place the sewer piping. Now, actual connections won't be made as part of this project. But at least we will spend as much as we can to get pipe in the ground and then look to future opportunities to make those individual connections. The only item that might be additional cost that I'll get with the city, if it is, would be we need to prepare any easements. We're working with the county to see what they have for right of way. So we're figuring that out right now, but that would just be an additional item. So I'd be looking for a motion to approve the engineering proposal, or if you all have any questions on it.
Make the motion to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there further discussion? Is there any public comment? Councilwoman Hafner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hirsch.
Aye.
Councilman Ferris.
Aye.
And Councilwoman Brandon. Motion carried.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Finance.
Good morning, Council.
Good morning.
First of all, this is not for discussion unless you want to. We just want to give you the good news that we did close yesterday on the interim financing for the expansion at the student facility. I didn't have that done. And the pre-construction meeting was held yesterday as well, and so that's all I'm giving you. The item number 9 is a follow-up to what Alex just presented.
Thanks for that,
I won't get too close, but I do have a cold, so
No, it's okay.
it sounds worse than it is. But as Alex mentioned, the request to the county went forward in December, and they approved that. So they brought forward the amendment that they recommend for us to approve. And so today I'm just asking you for the motion to approve this amendment. It doesn't change any amounts, just it expands the scope to cover the range.
Hey Claire, are you good with this? I know you have to sign it, but I'm just making sure.
As the legal form, we are perfectly fine with it. It's consistent with what we've discussed and what's presented to BCC.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilwoman Hafner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hirsch.
Aye.
Councilman Ferris.
Aye.
And Councilwoman Brandon. Motion carried.
Thank you. Then item 10 is related to Bulldog Road. As you may recall, during the November meeting, discussions with Dewberry on expansion from the 1 to 2 MGD. We talked about re-engaging with PFM and Riker. That's what this is. We talked with Riker. They brought forward the resolution proposing on the, the on-call services, as well as the single source agreement, and then the budget amendment. So it's in three pieces. The agreement would be laid out, the scope. Mr. Martin and I would actually work with Riper to lay out the scope, and the rates are consistent with what they've done in the past.
Okay.
Now, I propose it, I've asked here for three. I understand that we need, since it's a single source, we need to make a motion to approve a resolution for the on-call services. And then another motion would be to approve the single source agreement. And then finally would be the budget amendment that we would then add to the project cost.
So we need to take those in order.
Okay, I'll make a motion for the on-call services resolution. Second.
Motion been made and seconded, any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilwoman Hackman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst.
Aye.
Councilman Farris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown. Motion carried.
All right, thank you.
The second motion was,
This single source
Single
approval.
source.
I'll make a motion for the single source resolution for the single source.
Second.
motion been made and seconded, any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilwoman Hackman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst.
Aye.
Councilman Farris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown. Motion carried.
Thank you.
There's budget amendment.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded, any further discussion? Public comment? Councilwoman Hackman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst.
Aye.
Councilman Farris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown. Motion carried.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Lee?
Thank you, Mayor. I originally placed this for today to advise the board in 286.01 of Florida statute, advising giving the board's advice concerning litigation strategy and type of expenses to be incurred in the case of Hathaway Investments versus the City of Freeport, which is the ongoing dispute over the repayment of money under the developers agreement, with the intention of setting an attorney-client executive session. However, given the unique posture of this case and some additional information, I'm just going to address it right here because I think we have a chance to put this on the bed. We have a motion to dismiss scheduled for February 18th. In preparing for that motion to dismiss and conducting some factual investigation research, it came to my attention that the development order that was subject to this agreement has expired. No activities occurred in over 12 months. Because that is the case, our basis for collecting this fee, which to be clear is our capacity fee, has now effectively dissipated. So typically you can retain impact fees or capacity fees up to the point that a development order or permit expires, provided you have commenced the actual project or they have commenced the project and there's true dedication of capacity in the system. Because of the unique, and I want to be very clear, and that's why I'm saying it in public so nobody else comes back and says, well, my deal expired, I get my money back too. No, we deferred their payments into this developer's agreement.
Right.
We went back and forth for quite a period of time based on the build out. The city has already approved the refund of everything but our engineering costs.
Right.
I believe when we go before the court, we have a very plausible position to take that the agreement, whether or not there's a breach of it, does not automatically entitle them to the refund of money because the money that they were due was technically the full capacity fee at the time the DO was applied for and no later than the time it was issued. The payment plan is what the agreement did. So if their position is we don't have any money, technically, if there's a DO, then we should go all the money. So I think we have that position. But I do think the court ultimately looks at me and says, what's your ability to collect the rest and what's your ability to retain if they surrender? So I've spoken to opposing counsel, discussed a potential resolution. It is my recommendation to the city that given these unique circumstances and the fact that there's been no development commenced out there, the DO has expired, and that this was subject to a unique utility services agreement, that while we did incur engineering expense, given the fact that the city would likely use that as part of other design elements out there on this plan, that the city's original offer of extending all money back except that fee, we should simply go ahead and resolve this by returning the money in full, no interest, no attorney's fees, with the following caveats being stipulated to in terms of the court order being entered. And that'd be one, that it is stipulated to the court adjudicates that the development order is expired and any attempt to revive it will be the start of the new development process. That accomplishes three big things for the city, the most important of which is they would now pay the now effective capacity fees, which from the time this start has received, I believe, 3 CPI increases. Is that right, Mr. Martin? I think we're at 3 CPI increases now. So if you do the 3 CPI increases on the total amount outstanding, which was just over $10 billion, you're going to make up the amount of engineering fees we have the moment somebody else comes in. 2, it attaches a covenant with this project that does not allow someone to restart the project without us knowing it, because this is in the county, not the city, and us not have the opportunity to collect those dollars. And third, it sets us into a position where if we do anything in the future, it is very clear that it is not in response to this agreement as an independent act of the city with any other developer. So it completely untethers us from this development by killing the development. The last part of it is that I would also recommend that the language be indicated, they understand that. That's pretty simple, it's implicit, but we want to make it explicit, that they be paying the new effective fees whenever development from that parcel of land comes forward, but also that they would understand that should, between now and the development of that project, if it ever moves forward in any way, shape, or form, the city causes to be placed that land, that they would pay the pro rata cost of that land above and beyond any capacity fees, because that would have been their obligation. I believe with those 2 stipulations in place, and that being something that's a recorded document that runs the land, this is a fair and reasonable outcome, and I believe it is the most efficient option. While you're not going to incur a couple $100,000 in litigation fees to get through a motion to dismiss, you're going to incur some fees between now and then, and the court likely will not dismiss the case with prejudice. It will likely give them the opportunity to amend to include a request under other basis. So the case isn't going away forever on February 18th. Some counts, I do think, are subject to prejudicial dismissal. So with that being said, that's my recommendation. If the council agrees, I would ask the council by motion to authorize myself and the city manager to present a proposed stipulated settlement and final judgment to opposing counsel, and to request the court enter that and for staff to return the outstanding capacity fees with no interest, attorney's fees, or other deductions.
So moved on that.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilwoman Hackman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hirsch.
Aye.
Councilman Fair.
Aye.
And Councilwoman Brennan. Motion carried.
Thank you. And that's all I have. No need for executive session for that. Mr. Martin and I'll get this thing finalized.
Park.
Good morning, Mayor, Council. So one thing on the agenda, it's, another year for the Westwood Ranch, requesting use of the sports complex for their annual rodeo event.
Yep.
Asking for waiver of fees.
Sure. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made, seconded. Is there any further discussion?
And she's also here to talk about the rodeo.
Okay.
So,
Should we take the vote first?
yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and take the vote.
Okay.
Councilwoman Hackman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hirsch.
Aye.
Councilman Fair.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brennan. Motion carried.
Good morning, Lindy Wood with Westwood Ranch. Thank you for having us today. I just want to say this will be our 7th year of hosting this professional sanctioned rodeo in cooperation with the city of Freeport. If you aren't familiar with what we do, we invest in the lives of some of our most vulnerable citizens, young people with developmental disabilities in our community. It is a blessing to serve this population, and furthermore, this event is such a family-friendly event, but it also highlights what is special about the city. It showcases that we are welcoming, that we are community-minded, and that we value those who are often overlooked. So that inclusion and that community-minded that encompasses this event. So it truly is an honor that we continue to receive the support from the city and allow us to use that space to bring what I feel like has become a treasured signature event here in our community. So on behalf of Westonwood Ranch and the ones that we serve, thank you so much for your support.
Thank you. Thank you.
March 27th and 28th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Planning.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. First item I have before you under planning is under tab 13. This is a developer's agreement for Ronnie Brandon Drive that will actually be constructed within the Ronnie Brandon Memorial Park. If you look at the introduction that's on tab 13, I had previously brought before you last year a proposal that Cruz Holdings, a developer that's to the east and adjacent to this parcel, had actually come to us and suggested that we'll do a construction estimate, decide how much it costs to put that road as it's designed all the way through that parcel so that we can utilize that going in and out of our, western boundary. And they asked if the city would participate. And so the negotiation was that they will get an estimate. One of the city reviewing engineers will actually approve the estimate as being reasonable for the construction of it. And the city would create a ledger account of 50% of that they can use towards city application fees, capacity fees, review fees. And the city gets a new road built to our specifications for 50% of the cost. So I went forward, we worked with them, we got a developer's agreement written out about the parties, the city and Cruz Holdings, and that is now before you. And we're asking for approval of the developer's agreement for Ronnie Brandon Drive under those conditions.
Make a motion for approval of the development order for Ron Brandon.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Is there any public comment? Councilwoman Hafner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hirsch.
Aye.
Councilman Fair.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown. Motion carried.
The next item I have before you is under tab 14. As you know, we continue with the design and permitting of Marquis Way West. There were actually two situations where the city does not yet have control of the property. There are two parcels that our attorney is working on that will take place in phase 2 of the project, which is actually the bridge construction. But phase 1 of the project is construction of the roadway with the bridge approaches. And there was one piece of property that remained for the city to have control over. So this is a completely city-controlled project, and that is the initial or the far most east portion of Marquis Way, adjacent to the public shopping center and the traffic signal at Marquis Way and 331 South. I have been working in negotiation with the attorneys for Publix, which was a very interesting experience in and of itself to finally get to the right person who was able to talk to me and figure that out. So they have no problems at all with us taking maintenance responsibility of that section of roadway under the conditions that the current access points to the shopping center be maintained, and that we need to modify those in any way, shape, or form, that Publix, of course, be consulted and in agreement with what we have to do in modifications, which is perfectly reasonable. So what you have before you is a resolution for the city to accept maintenance of that section of the roadway. I actually have that parcel shown in a location map that's within this item that you can see that's outlined in red, and it's simply the right-of-way portion of Marquee Way adjacent to the shopping center there, which will allow us to move forward with no problem. So I'm asking for approval of this resolution with the conditions as stated.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded, any further discussion? Any public comments? Councilwoman Hackman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst.
Aye.
Councilman Terry.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown. Motion carried.
Sir,
Before we move on to the next part, where do we stand on that other property?
So we have now gotten everything we need from our appraisal companies. We are in the process of completing the statutory notices and the timeframe. There is about a 4-month window once you commence that, where they have opportunities to make decisions. With that being said, we will be making offers specifically for the parcel that we started with, the Wilkerson parcel, that will include buying just the portion of land we need. But after discussion with Mark and our engineering team, we believe the entirety of the parcel is wetland and undevelopable, that we will be making a dual offer. After more research than I care that I had to do, it's not something common when you offer to buy the whole parcel. So we're doing it as a dual alternative to the Wilkerson owners, that in this scenario, they can sell us the part we need, or they can sell us the whole parcel. We do have appraisals to cover both, so we're making that as a dual offer there. We have prepared, now I talked to the property appraiser and tax collector, and developed the mailing notices they use on the Reese parcel, which is a parcel that has never been probated, and has multiple heirs. Florida statute provides for a mechanism when a property is held by presumptive heirs of an estate that are not locatable by how you do the initial notices. We will do our best to follow that through no fault of the tax collector or property appraiser. It does not appear that they actually did have an individualized address for each named owner. It appears they just duplicated some of the addresses, and that may have been reset in the account. They are researching that on our behalf, but they will likewise follow in that 120-day window. My expectation is that if we do not have acceptance of our offer within the next 90 days, we should probably assume we're not getting much back, and that when we begin about preparing our litigation. It is my recommendation at this time, having reviewed this, that if we do proceed, that we proceed under Chapter 74 as well, which is the expedited taking process, which basically tells the court, we have to have the property, we're not going to wait to adjudicate our need for it, but we are thereby tying our hands that we will pay the fair market value the court determines. The critical part for us, in my opinion, is knowing that if we do not get a counteroffer, and we don't see any evidence they submit of why they think our numbers are bad, somebody's going to have to come forward and prove that sometime. It may cost us a little bit more if they ultimately hire an attorney, which they will, but attorney's fees in eminent domain cases in the state of Florida are typically contingent fees based on the net benefit derived, not just 40% or what have you of the amount we pay. So I don't know that we're going to have unbridled potential attorney's fees on the other side. If we do proceed to litigate, the one thing we will have to determine after some additional evaluation on Wilkerson is, can we legitimately make a claim of use for all the property? I don't think so at this point. We will consider that, even though we're making that offer. The question of Reese in my mind is going to be, do we feel that we have sufficient communication and outreach on all of the people to get that before the court, where we can similarly serve or do constructive notice? That's the one that's the challenge, and I'll go back to what we said at the very outset of this. We've been told by multiple people that they were able to get clear title, and they've never been able to. And again, I express that because I want the council to understand. I say that in a point of frustration, that we did title work on this. I went back and looked before today, 29 months ago, as of this month. I did the initial title search 29 months ago, and found there was no way to provide clear title. We have had 3 different persons on behalf of that estate represent that they had a title company prepared to provide clear title. I went back and compared all three policies, we were sent, all three had the same deficiencies noted. And in fact, two specifically noted they would not issue insurance. One said if you could satisfy all of these, which is what mine said initially. So what I would say is, that one's gonna be an uphill battle because nobody can seem to figure out where everybody is. But I do believe the constructive service, that's gonna take longer of the two. The Wilkerson was the one that we're gonna move forward the fastest, in my opinion. So that's where we are, we're in our start clock. So I would expect by your first meeting in April, if not your last meeting in March, just based on where those meetings fall on the calendar, you're gonna be getting requests from me to either proceed with litigation or pay these people their money to buy the property.
I know down the road, if we can ever get it resolved, it will help with our traffic.
It will indeed.
This is why it's a public necessity. It's not just, we know it will, we know it's not on the screen.
There's no
That's one
doubt.
thing the public needs to know,
It's
is
just-
we're trying.
Yeah, and just to remind you where we are, this is a two-phase project. The first phase one is to build the actual, construct the road from the traffic signal west to the bridge approach on the south side of Lafayette Creek. And then to do the little approach that's on Shipyard Road. The second phase is the bridge itself. So this will not impede our ability to finish phase one with the legislative appropriations we've received so far. But this will work out very well in terms of time. I just want you to know that phase one is not dependent, or we don't have to wait on that to finish the actual construction of the roadway. So to give you a little comfort level of what's happening. We're right where we need to be on phase one. Phase two is still ways off.
And for the public's knowledge too, this will be the first time the city of Freeport has ever engaged in condemnation proceedings
That's right.
to acquire property. And so it's on the record. When the government takes property for a road, or for anything else for that matter, but certainly in road cases, we don't just take your property, we have to pay you fair market value. So this is not us just taking my property, this is us doing, we have on all of these cases attempted to acquire property through compensation or through agreements like we do with most others. And just for a variety of reasons, these properties have not been able to be acquired. That's what's forcing us into this. So this is a unique step, but we will follow through with it. I will also note that from the city's perspective, in engaging in condemnation here, we are doing so under a process that typically, and after I talked to a number of attorneys who do this both privately and people in Fort DOT, from the day they get their appraisals, they're often 36 months out before they even get to court. We're going to be, from the date of our appraisals, within probably 12 to 18 months moving forward. So we have tried to fast track this as much as we can. But part of the problem is you do have to have the design ready to go, because if we file litigation, one of the core elements to go before the court is the exact scope of the project, so we can demonstrate what we have is truly necessary for the project. So basically, we're doing a whole lot of litigation prep work for something we hope we don't litigate. But
In phase one, we will have 100% design plans by March, well before it's needed for anything like that. You know, those will be in our hands already, so we're in good shape. Thank you. The next item before you is the Senate Bill 180 Land Development Code Revision Ordinance. First reading was held in December 9th last month, and staff was authorized to advertise for today's meeting. And this is an update to our code primarily for the changes that took place by the legislature that went into effect July 1 for Senate Bill 180 changes to our code. If you look at the draft ordinance in your book, this has to do with the procedure for platting subdivision plats. Then the next section that's on page 3, the city council did away with our recreation board because it had outlived all the phases being completed on the Freeport Regional Sports Complex, so we've done away with that. Then accessory uses on page 4 of 10, that has to do with accessory uses and adding language regarding accessory dwelling units. And then finally, there Under Senate Bill 180, there are certified recovery residences that every city and county in the state of Florida is having put language in about that, what they are, how they're used, the levels and standards for that. So that was all part of 180. We did add one additional requirement at the behest of our water department, where we provided clarification on page 9 of 10 of how water meters and services are located for customers. Mr. Larry got with us and we talked about a way to solidify our need of where the water meters and services have to be, and based on his assistance and information, we feel like we've got some clarity of how that has to happen within rights of way and close to rights of way. So that is the total of the ordinance, and staff is requesting that you now have first reading for adoption of this land development code revision.
Would be first, is it first reading?
Second reading.
You
Excuse
said
me,
first reading.
beg your pardon.
Yeah, I think it's second reading.
It is
Well,
second
reading and adopt is what. it is.
Second reading and adopt of the proposed ordinance.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilwoman Hefner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hirsch.
Aye.
Councilman Farron.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brandon. Motion carried.
And this would be ordinance number 2026-01. And the reading of the ordinance is as follows. An ordinance amending the Freeport Land Development Code, Articles 2, 3, and 5, providing for authority and purpose, conflict severability, and an effective date. The next item before you is the code enforcement ordinance. This was developed in conjunction with the approval of your legal services division. What this will do is create a code enforcement process ordinance that includes, instead of a code enforcement board, the use of a magistrate to handle code enforcement, code violations that we are not able to get corrected, a process whereby a magistrate can review those and cause compliance to happen, which is what we want ultimately. First reading and authorization for staff to advertise for second reading was held on December the 9th, 2005. Staff is asking to hold second reading and adoption of the code enforcement ordinance, which would become an appendix to the land development code, and will actually be in a section in the appendices of the land development code.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Is there any public comment? Councilwoman Hefner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hirsch.
Aye.
Councilman Farron. Councilwoman Brandon. Motion carried.
This will be ordinance 2026-02. In ordinance of the city of Freeport, Florida, adding appendix I is an Indian code enforcement to the city of Freeport Land Development Code, creating a special magistrate to preside over code enforcement proceedings, providing for authority and purpose, conflict severability, and an effective date. Thank you. And at this time, I'm going to turn our section over to Samantha Gray so she can talk to you about the community center change orders, as she is the project manager for that project.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. I know that you've all had a chance to see our new community center, and was really excited to be tying it up. We had our employee luncheon every day for the holidays, and it was just such a nice area. It was very, very nice. And we thank you all for all the hard work you put in making it happen. Absolutely. These are the, I hope, final change orders for this project. We're trying to get all the paperwork tied up. Most of them have to do with adjustments that were made by putting in fixtures, such as the technology, the lighting fixtures, which were chosen after the initial architectural design was done. We added some sidewalk connections to make it more ADA accessible to improve our connectivity. There are two separate change orders, number 22 and 24, and I am just asking your approval on those.
Do these need to be separate motions, Clay?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve change order 22. in the amount of $39,373.80.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Any comment, any public comment? Councilwoman Hefner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hirsch.
Aye.
Councilman Fair.
Aye.
And Councilwoman Brown. Motion carried.
I'll make a motion to approve change order number 24 in the amount of $21,153.85.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilwoman Hefner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hirsch.
Aye.
Councilman Fair.
Aye.
And Councilwoman Brown. Motion carried.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. The last item that I have on the agenda, in December, you heard the future land use and zoning change request for Fidelity Trust, which is a property on Old Jolly Bay that wants to put in commercial facility, office, retail area. We have two different ordinances that you authorized us to advertise for second reading. I'm asking today for permission to do the second reading on, first of all, the future land use change, and secondly, the zoning change.
As this is a public hearing for adoption of a small-scale amendment, this is a quasi-judicial proceeding. Anyone wishing to speak on this matter needs to be sworn, including staff. If you wish to speak on this item, please stand, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I do hereby swear or affirm
I do swear and affirm
that the testimony I present
the testimony I present
will be the truth,
is the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
Thank you, staff and the audience.
The first ordinance would be, I believe, 2026-03, and that would be amending the future land use from low-density residential to mixed use. Do I have your permission to do the reading?
You need a motion. Motion to hold second reading and adopt.
Thank you. Okay. Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Is there any public comment? Councilwoman Hefner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hirsch.
Aye.
Councilman Fair.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown. Motion carried.
Thank you. This is an ordinance amending the comprehensive plan of the city of Freeport, specifically the future land use map, specifically the parcel identified with property reference number 23-1S-19-23000-001-0035, containing approximately 2.66 acres more or less from city future land use designation of low-density residential to the city's mixed-use future land use designation. The second ordinance is the zoning change request, amending the zoning from low-density residential to general commercial.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Public comments? Councilwoman Hefner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hirsch.
Aye.
Councilman Fair.
Aye.
And Councilwoman Brown.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. This is ordinance number 2026-04, an ordinance amending the zoning map series included by reference in Article 3 of the Land Development Code of the City of Freeport, specifically the parcel identified with the property reference number 23-1S-1923000-001-0035, containing approximately 2.66 acres more or less, and described by the legal description contained in Section 1 below, amending the zoning assignment from low-density residential to general commercial. Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Mayor and council, I just want to give you a very quick update. Charity, will you with me, please? As you know, our dear employee and friend, Marge Day, retired recently, and we miss her terribly. But I did want you to know that Charity, who came to us as a planning technician and then was promoted to lead planning technician, has been promoted to interim planning coordinator. She's in her probationary period right now, and she is doing an excellent job. If you need to contact our office about all matters financial pertaining to us, anything about business registration, anything at all about code enforcement, Charity is in charge of that, and so far she's just doing a wonderful job, and I wanted to have you a chance. Will you see and know that we're putting our trust in her, and we feel like she's gonna do very, very well.
Thank you, great job.
Sure.
Good morning, Mayor, Council.
Good morning.
A little look here. First thing I want to talk to you about is replacing a jetter.
Okay.
We got 3 bids on it, which you can see. And the one we're asking for is a 590531.
Okay.
And that's the cheaper one.
I'll make a motion to approve the jetter for $5,905.
First been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Is there any public comment? Councilwoman Hackett.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurd.
Aye.
Councilman Perry.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. The next item is a ladder rack for a 1-ton truck.
Okay.
It is a Sourcewell product, and it's also proprietary for us. And we're asking for $1,200.
Is it the forklift loadable one you want involved for 2,200?
Yes, right.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the ladder rack for $2,200. Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Further discussion? Public comment? Councilwoman Hackett.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurd.
Aye.
Councilman Ferris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Grant. Motion carried.
The third item is a camper shell for a Colorado truck. It's $5,573, and it is proprietary. You can't get it from anywhere else.
24, it's got 24, that's not the order. I'll make the motion for the camper shell, $5,573.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilwoman Hackett.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurd.
Aye.
Councilman Ferris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Grant.
Good job.
Motion carried.
The next one was 21, called the CDL license, is that what you've got?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the CDL training for $7,086.25.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there further discussion?
I have a question. Is this for one person?
I'm
Is
hoping
this school for
two.
one or two? Okay.
For 2 people. What's happened, we got this week pump truck, which we got 1 CDL driver.
Yeah.
And we need more than that.
I understand.
And we're hoping to get this dump truck, so we can haul it back on and actually put this H&T bills, we need to get it out.
Well, the paper says another employee, but you think it's gonna be employees like 2, like you think you can get 2?
Over in Chipley.
What's the cost for the school, for 1? Is it then about 3,500 then, or where does
That's
this
right.
amount come? Oh, 3,500 per person, okay. Oh, I see that, let's see. Is that right? Sorry, we were just checking the paperwork real quick.
Sure.
Is that something we have to add to the job description on certain employees or anything? Do we need to do any updates on that?
I think it would be advisable.
Yeah, because that gets quite hefty paying that for employees, so what if they get this and then they leave because they've got their CDL to do a truck
Right.
driving job?
Well,
I just want to make sure we're kind of, no offense, I just want to
Some
make sure.
papers, some paperwork saying that they'll stay in a lot of amount of time.
Yeah.
We have a policy on that, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, so the tuition,
It's the same thing with the license.
Thank you.
Okay, this is just for one person.
the institute is $69.95, so this is only gonna cover one person to get it, unless you have a,
We've got an offer from, I don't know what they call it anymore, Votech, Chipley, which is about half of that.
but the problem is what we were asked to approve though was this Milton, Truck Driver Institute, so the right paperwork's not in the packet. So what are we supposed, do we need to hold this to another meeting, or what are we supposed to do?
If we're, I mean, unless
Unless we
this is
let
an
him just take it.
emergent circumstance, I've heard that, I think it should take.
You know when this is being held? I mean, are there specific dates for this training or?
Well, we had to check on the dates, the approval, so we would come in.
Well, I think the council said they'd be willing to do, why don't we get the dates, the total cost and all the paperwork and bring it back to next council.
Right.
Yeah,
We bring that next week.
Because we can't approve it as is, we can only approve this Truck Driver Institute of Milton, which you put in the packet, so we need the right paperwork.
Okay.
Didn't we just take a vote on that?
We didn't, but I made a
We
motion.
hadn't, so.
We have a motion, and so what I'd do is I'd ask the motion to be withdrawn,
Yes.
to allow the chance to bring it back.
We don't have to make a motion for them to bring it, it's just direction, okay.
No, I mean, it's his presentation to you, and you're not ready to act on it, so.
Okay, I'm just double checking, sorry. Okay, so you're gonna bring us the right paperwork back the next time that shows the two costs, okay.
Yes.
So then the next tab you had was 22, the map scanner.
It is, the one we're asking for costs $11,328.
Okay. And where is it? Oh, here it is, I got it. It's for Amplify Graphics, okay.
It is.
All right. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the map scanner, $11,828, and there's a promo for $500 off. So
That's right.
because that's why the invoice is right. It's 11,328 actually with the promo. Okay. Need a
I'm
second?
sorry, make a motion.
I made a
I'll
motion.
second.
Thank you.
Motion been made and seconded, any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilman Hamilton,
Aye.
Councilman Hurd,
Aye.
Councilman Fair,
Aye.
Councilman Brown, motion carried. I have a question on the previous. David made a motion and seconded, they don't have to withdraw.
She withdrew her
Yes, you
motion.
did.
I made,
Oh, you did?
I did.
And if the second didn't stand as the motion, which it did.
Right. She did withdraw, yes, sir.
Perfect.
Okay, so you have a dump truck next.
We do.
Is the money there for this, Paul?
It is, we budgeted $145K for it.
That's 120,000.
It is.
I'll make a motion to approve this for the dump truck for 120,000.
Second. A second.
I'm sorry.
Motion made and
I
seconded.
got more than one quote for this because of the price.
Bruce?
It's $120,000.
Right.
It's a source well.
Is there only one place, like I thought you had to get 3
It's
quotes?
Sourcewell.
Oh, it's a one,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
right.
Yeah.
Just-
that-
I'm
that's
just
it, yeah,
making
comes
sure.
from source code, that's it.
Just double checking.
That's why I want Bruce to put it on the record, that's what.
Okay, just making sure. Did you make a motion?
And the
Okay, go ahead.
I second it, we're ready for,
Okay.
Any further discussion? I got me confused. Any public comment? Councilman Hamilton,
Aye.
Councilman Hurd,
Aye.
Councilman Fair,
Aye.
Councilman Brown. Motion carried.
And then you had an add-on for a locator?
I do for a GPR locator.
Okay.
What this is about, the one that we have, a solid state card, and it went bad, it's in the shop, and a new ETA for it's going back. You don't know, so therefore we're stuck without one.
Okay.
We need a spare to back this one up.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve $21,137.20 for the locator.
second.
Motion been made and seconded, any further discussion? Public comment? Councilman Hamilton,
Aye.
Councilman Hurd,
Aye.
Councilman Fair,
Aye.
Councilman Brown. Motion carried.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Next under new business, Councilman Fair.
Mayor and council, this is dealing with the community center. I've talked with Rebecca, I've talked with Mark, and I also had one talk with Clay.
Yeah.
And I feel that this where we're picking and choosing is going to get us a mess.
Yeah, I think so.
And my recommendation, after talking with all of them, especially talking with Clay, is that we end up and the only way that we allow the community center, maybe if it's another governmental agency that wants to use it, just like when we ask to use the county's conference room or something like that, but that everybody else would end up of having to follow our policies and procedures.
Correct.
Because I know we're gonna end up with those that have signed up right now that we've got down, we would have to finish it out.
Right.
But what I think is once that's finished, then they have to meet what's in our policy.
I think so too.
And instead of picking and choosing, this way it doesn't put the mayor in anything, it doesn't put Mark,
Yeah.
but it doesn't open us up down the road.
For sure.
And after talking with Clay, I feel that we need to be able to just say, okay, this is our policy, what we
Right.
got written down. The only other ones that we would open it up to would be another governmental agency if they go
Right.
through their motion just like we do and come
Right.
before us wanting to use it.
Right.
But I wanted to see how the rest of you felt, because
We agree.
after talking to everybody, it's beginning to get out of hand.
I think so too.
And we've spent, the taxpayers, the city, we've invested in that. And we've
100%.
got to make sure that it's taken care of
Yeah.
for the future down the road.
For sure.
If that's the case, then the appropriate motion would be to amend the council's prior direction regarding waiver of fees for the community center to require that the only waiver of fees be granted to another governmental agency for its official use and purpose.
Right.
To grandfather in all existing reservations that have been done without fee that are on the books as of this
Right.
morning,
Right.
start of this meeting, and that starting from day forward, all new bookings require fee except for those governmental bookings.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? Public comment?
How does that affect nonprofits that ask to use facilities like Westwood Ranch, Grace?
And everyone would end up paying the fee. Profit,
There's not a
nonprofit.
waiver anymore. Right.
And of course, the council can review this. One of the things I said to council members I have talked to and I spoke to Mr. Harris about is that the demand for the community center, as some of you have expressed to me, seems to perhaps outstrip what we expected.
Right.
We built a very, very beautiful community center. And one of the things that we did after the Chicago Hall Brotherhood renovations at UNIAC was really monitor its usage.
Right.
When they came from their secretary, tracked the usage, came back with reports to the council. And after about the first, we didn't take a whole year, I think it was closer to 9 months, they came back and said, this is who's using it, what it's being used for, these are the intensive events, these are events where damage is occurring. We got a better feel, we adjust our policy then. I think because of the demand and use for the community center that everybody in the books right now is grandfathered in terms of their existing bookings, but future bookings would require that. But in a year from now, we may have this conversation again and decide we do want to expand it or determine what that looks like. But for right now, I do think that is a reasonable situation to keep the center from being overutilized without adequate resources being brought in and maintained
Right.
and doing repair work. Because
Sure.
excessive usage is going to wear that down very quickly.
For sure.
So the people that have it reserved right now for a certain meeting,
They're fine.
All of
They're
those
fine.
dates
Yeah,
are
that's what you
grandfathered
just
in.
said. Yeah, they're grandfathered.
but after that
After today.
last meeting, did they have it reserved for? Like the Freeport Merchants Association has it for like 5 months.
Right, he's
Yeah,
saying if
yeah.
the reservations in the system, they're good. Anybody new that comes in falls under this, what we have today.
And after their rate, after their trip, then they fall back in.
Correct. They just
As of today, if FMA wants to use it again, they'll fall under this new policy where they pay the renters.
And to be clear, Mark had Rebecca prepare a list. That list was the community center bookings that she sent to me at 1:33 p.m. Is that an accurate list?
Yeah.
All right, that's the list we will use. Everybody that was on that list, which shows dates all the way through December 16th for various different things.
Right.
That everybody on that list is grandfathered in, any new bookings not on, or any booking that comes in from a day that's not on that list, or anybody that was not on that list was inquiring, has got to pay.
Correct.
Okay, so let's use that as the master list, Rebecca.
Correct. All right.
Okay, any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilwoman Hackman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst.
Aye.
Councilman Terry.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gray. Motion carried. Is there any public comment?
I have one question before we move away. I know you had determined that all the nonprofits and folks that intended to use it for the next fiscal year come to you in June. Is that still the case? Or are you just going to, as they occur, review them now?
I think the vote was just a pay.
They're gonna have to
That's the
pay.
intention.
Do you still want to see them in June when you, before you start your budget hearings?
No, we don't want to see them.
Not for the
those.
community
Not for
center.
the
Just for the community.
For the like the sports, yes.
Not for the community. center.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct.
Anyone else? Meeting adjourned.